Hello my friends, welcome back to Mobile Music Maker. This is Logan Jacob. Today's video we are looking at the third part of part 1 from the AUM Basics User Guide. So this is going to cover sessions, and then we'll also finish up with a little bit of information about backgrounds. So this is all the information you need to know about sessions and how to use them, how to load them, all of that good stuff. Please remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We have more coming in the near future. So let's get into it. Okay, and finally let's talk about sessions real quick. So each file, each time that you're in AUM, when you've got all this stuff pulled up, these are called sessions. So these are your projects containing settings and all of your nodes, all of your channel strips, all of that stuff. So you have a clean session whenever you first open AUM. And that initial one will be named with the current date and time until you save it with a different name. And that is really handy in case you forget to change it. You can at least say, what was I working on Tuesday? Oh yeah, there it is. So you can, if you want to save, load, or clear your session, you're going to use the hamburger menu up here in the top. So let's say your session title, by the way, is right here. So this is 7/27/2023 at 13:08. So if I want to save it, I'm going to hit this save button right here. And I can change the name if I want to. I can put it in a specific folder if I want to. And I do that sometimes, when I do the Januaries or something like that, I'll put all of those in one folder. Or I'll have one that's just all of my AUM basic sessions or something like that, just to kind of keep them organized. I will admit that I'm not great about doing that, but I do occasionally. So once I have decided everything, I'm going to hit Save Session. And now it's saved. So I can close this out and I can always come back to it. So let's say I decide I want to go in a different direction. I want to work on something completely different. I need to clear this session. So that I'm going to use the clear button for. And it's going to say, do you want to save? Or are you sure? And it clears out everything. Okay. So now if I want to reopen what I was doing before, there's two things I can do. I can either go up here and go to Files and find my last session, which is this one. You can see my folders here, and then I've got my sessions right here. So I could click on that, and it will open this up. And of course, it takes a minute because everything's got to load. This is a previous generation iPad, so it's pretty quick, but it's not the fastest. If you have one of the brand new ones, it's gonna be a little faster. So I'm going to clear everything out again. I could also hit last state. Let's say AUM crashes or something like that. It will save your last state. So if I hit that, it will pop everything back up. Or clear it all out again. If I go up to Files, I actually have the option of restoring the previous state there to be able to pull it in. So I've got a couple of options there. Now you can also create a defaults folder, and that will let you bring in your default state by using this. So I don't have a default folder, but if I did, I could click on default, and let's say that I always want to have a guitar input, a mic input, and then a couple of channels to be able to drop audio and MIDI. I could save that as like a template and go to default and get it there, and that would be pretty nice. Okay, now let's say that I want to do a few things with these files. So I've got some options that I can do here. So if I select a file, and let's say I go to a sessions and I want to copy it or something like that, then I can I have some abilities to be able to do that. So let's say I wanted to I have the Notes app open or something like that, and I want to be able to drop in where this session is that I was working on. So let's say I long click on that. I can hit copy URL, And then we'll say I go to notes or something like that. Would help if I knew where notes was. There we go. And I add a new note. So I want to say these are my church settings. Then I can hit paste, and that pops in that URL so that if I click on that, it'll quickly take me to where that is. And it gives me the option to open it up if I need to. And now I've got this particular song setting set up to where I need it, which is kind of nice. Okay, let's clear that out. So let's say that I've got some channels that I want to import in here, and I don't want to use the import setting that we used earlier. Then I can long press on this, and I can hit import channels, and it'll give me the options. What all do you want to import into this? And I can hit import, and it'll actually just drop in all of those channels into this project. So if I had something else in here as well, I could say, okay, I just want to add all of this other stuff to it. That's fun. Been a while since I messed with that. And then of course I can also rename a session if I need to. So if I want to change this to AUM User Guide 1, and now I've got it changed in there. Now you can also, in this main menu, there are notes. So if you need to make notes about this particular setup, then you can. You can, whatever your thoughts were on this, or want to explain a little bit what was going on here, you can type that into these notes, which is pretty nice. And again, you can also click in to put in URLs. So if I want to be able to quickly get to that one, I can. Okay, so if I wanted to be able to open that up, you see it shows up in blue, and it lets me open up that session quickly. So let's say I needed to be able to quickly go from this session to another session. I could just have that in there so that I can just very quickly go into notes and say, okay, that's the next one that I need to be able to go to. All right, and then finally, what it talks about in the user guide here is that AUM can keep running in the background if certain conditions are true. If if it's moving, if it's actually doing something, if it's playing and there's music going, it can run in the background. If transport is running, meaning that it's connected to another app via MIDI or via whatever you've got it connected to, it'll keep running. Or if it is connected via inter-app audio to any other app, it will keep running if you need to. Now, if you want to stop it from running in the background, you can clear it out if you need to. Or you can swipe away from the iOS multitask thumbnail view to fully terminate it, or you can hit last state, and then you can hit last state to get back where you were if you needed to. So let's say I've got some music going, my nice little From the Inside Out loop, if you're familiar with that church tune, and I needed to go do something else. I can go wherever I need to, and it's going to keep that audio running in the background for me, which is pretty handy. Okay. Now, one final thing on this, if you're just getting started, something to think about is that you generally don't want to just leave AUM running. So when you're done for the day, if it's just running, it's automatically eating up, 30% of your processor here, or however much, depending on what you've got open. So that's going to drain your battery really quick. So they recommend closing it out completely whenever you're done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear it, which you don't have to, but that's just what I do for some reason. And then if I swipe up, I can just swipe and get rid of it. And now it's done. It's closed completely so that it's not eating up my battery. Okay. And then if I get back into it and say, oh, I need to open the last state, I need to go back to where I was, I can do that, and it'll pop open whatever the last thing I was working on. So it is pretty quick to get back into it if you need to. Okay, I hope all that made a little bit of sense to you here getting started. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. I am planning on getting videos up every week. I want to continue this series going through the user guide step by step and helping beginners kind of get into AUM, and maybe some experienced folks learn something new as well. And then I'm also going to be posting some music. I am a musician. I love to write and to play, and so I'm going to try every week to get a little bit of music posted up there just for something for you to listen to. Of course, you can find my music on Apple Music, Bandcamp, all of those places, Spotify, YouTube. You can search for Logan Jacob or Reverberated Records, and you can find all of my stuff there. My link tree is on the screen if you want to go to that and quickly get to stuff. Thanks very much. I love chatting with people about this stuff, so please leave a comment below and I will get back with you. If you have any questions or something specific that you'd like me to show you how to do, of course, let me know and I will try to get that taken care of for you. For now, I hope you have enjoyed this and continue to enjoy playing around with Kymatica AUM, which I think is one of the best music apps for iOS in the entire system. Take care. Bye.